You know, they say as we age, we lose certain things like reflexes and reaction times, you know, things that are kind of important for motorcycle riding. But I don't think that's the end of the story. I think there's more behind it than that. Let's get into that.
I've always been amazed by people who can do what appear to most as impossible. Things others cannot fully comprehend. And I'm not talking about things of just a physical nature, but those tasks that take immense concentration and calculations that are performed under seemingly impossible circumstances, and do so perfectly. How does a card counter keep track of the cards dealt from not just a single deck, but multiple decks of cards? How can an NFL quarterback read the defense in a split second and determine the type of coverage and make a successful play? And while riding a motorcycle may not be Rain Man-like levels of computations and skill, it is something that requires more effort, experience, and wisdom to execute on a regular basis than driving a car. To continue riding as we age takes on another level of adjustment and gamesmanship that becomes a whole other side of motorcycling. It's almost as if when we started riding, we were playing checkers. But as we age, we start playing chess. You know, they say that the average human has a reaction time of roughly 1/250th of a second. Yet I would argue that that was some distant race of humans long gone extinct, because the average driver nowadays seems to take 2 or 3 seconds to figure out that a light has turned green. And that's on a good day. A quarter of a second is not a long time. As motorcyclists, I think we're among those that tend to have a faster reaction time than most. But how fast is fast enough? And is losing that ability as we age a bad thing? To me, I guess it depends on your point of view. If you say that nothing is in your control and our only defense to any situation is to let it unfold and then react accordingly, well, that might be one way to look at it. But I see it differently. When I'm riding a motorcycle, I find it a little more advantageous to try and determine what's about to unfold and select the best course of action before it occurs. Why react when you can anticipate? I was always taught to ride as though I am invisible, and I do. But the flip side of that coin is to understand or even predict how all the other drivers around me are likely to react to any given situation they're about to face. Maybe predicting other drivers' likely actions or reactions is not the right term. Maybe it's something a lot less fanciful and straightforward. You see, the one thing that card counters, NFL quarterbacks, and even Rain Man seem to have in common is they're good at what they do, not through some random anomaly that occurs in 1 million people, but because they've seen it all hundreds and hundreds of times. As the old saying goes, it ain't rocket science, and neither is replacing reaction time with pure, unadulterated experience. Looking back now, I kind of feel like maybe having sharp skills and quick reaction times when we're young is more like a temporary protective shell that we get to shield us as we pass through that period where our brains are temporarily out of order. Now, I don't know about you, but my brain didn't really come online till I was in my 20s, or maybe it was in my 30s, but once it did, I think that was when I started to see things in a completely different light. Nowhere was this more apparent than when I began to look at riding a motorcycle as a process where I was truly just beginning to understand the game. After my first crash on the road, something changed. It was like I was playing the same game, but the opponent's pieces had changed. As an aging motorcyclist, I think we take on a new approach, and it quickly becomes apparent that having a great reaction time might help you at the drag strip, but in all other situations it helps to add extra layers. I think chess is a great analogy for motorcycling, because when we first learn about chess pieces and what their individual moves and capabilities are, it's easy to get distracted into missing where the greatest threat is. In my experience, sometimes the greatest threats and dangers I've faced on the road at first appeared innocuous and worthy of dismissal, almost fading into the background like a simple pond. But not spotting the danger soon enough can lead to a series of rapidly unfolding events that can end badly. It's not the final move that gets us. It was the one 4 steps earlier that did us in. I think the key to playing the game of motorcycling is twofold. Situational awareness is vital, but it is the intellectual curiosity that causes us to ask not only why did something happen, but analyze what led to it happening in the first place and keep that sequence of events in mind. All riders know the phrase "at gat," which infers we wear all the gear all the time. And while I think this is great advice, I also think we need to use all the brain all the time. For me, riding a motorcycle later in life has taken on a whole new level of enjoyment that I either missed or ignored when I was younger. I think part of that is because now the mental benefits are surpassing the physical. Now I see the board, all the pieces and how they move, and I know what strategies I can bring to my game, but most importantly, I understand the nature of the game, and the only unknown is the level of the opponent. In motorcycling, the opponent can be anything: weather, fatigue, distance, speed, or traffic, just to name a few. But herein lies the key for me. I know my level and my limits as a player, and I never open the game against a stronger opponent. I guess when you get right down to it, It really is all about self-control and knowing your limits, and always staying within them. Hey guys, as always, I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you for comments. Thank you for subscribing, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.